over Howard Foster stopping the match. He understood at that juncture. And, you know, there was a moment in that group of punches. There was a big left hook by Joe Joyce that really made the difference. He has such power in that punch. It's really a great punch for him.
Biggest takeaway of this victory, Al?
Better technique for Joe Joyce, continued improvement, and the ability in round one to take a very good punch from a man who is a good puncher as a heavyweight. And for Bermane Stiverne, this could easily spell the end of his career.
Let's mute it right there. I think Bermane Stiverne is done. You know, looking at all the weight he gained, you know, I mean, you know, I think he's done. He was taking too many shots. You know, Joe Joyce, his style is a bit awkward. You know, he was looking like he was slowing down, but, you know, he really wasn't. Bermane Stiverne was eating some mean uppercuts and some mean straights. Like, the punches just was going right through. And from round one, you saw the language of what the fight was going to be in regards to Bermane Stiverne was immediately being backed up to the ropes by a fighter who is called the Juggernaut. Stiverne wasn't trying to hold his ground. However, Stiverne it was his only punch that he was really throwing, is this wide looping overhand right that was hitting like Joyce, like all on the shoulder and all that. Joyce was just catching it. Couple left hooks got through. You can see, I mean, Joe Joyce is 33 years old. He's 8-0 now with 8 KOs. You know, Al Heyman, fighter, along with Richard Schaefer. You know, they're both working with him from my understanding. Let me turn it up.
WBA Gold and Commonwealth Heavyweight Champion, the Juggernaut, Joe Joyce.
Joe Joyce, 8-0, all 8 victories coming inside the distance and ready for his
the joke about
next test. This was supposed to be his toughest test on paper, was able to showcase his improvements, but he did make it look easy at the expense of a one-time WBC heavyweight champion.
Yeah, that's safer.
Our friends at ITV will be speaking with the undefeated
Let's
British
talk about the
heavyweight
WBA.
shortly.
And what people will hear is a very easygoing, articulate, and kind of funny,
yes,
Joe Joyce.
Dry sense of humor.
Yes.
An artist who reveres the late Jean-Michel Basquiat. He was a cheerleader in university. Yes. I mean,
he's a Renaissance
man.
Renaissance man, correct.
Cheerleader though, why they try to play?
In the midst of a...
He'll fuck you up though. Let's talk about it. This has been a WBA eliminator for what? Fresno Oquendo or some shit? The WBA has made this an eliminator, yo. One of the, like, well, Joe Joyce is an eliminate, is the mandatory for, if I'm correct, oh wait, let's listen to the post-fight interview.
Another one to the collection, and you know, big respect to Bermane Stiverne, like true champion. Like, he's very tough and, you know, stuck in there, still game, still throwing shots. But I guess I was just too much for him.
Were you hopeful of getting it done a bit earlier, or was it about being patient?
Oh, it was about being patient, but hey, he's such a tough guy that, you know, he took all them shots, no problem. It's only Wilder with that phenomenal power that, like, seems to, like, you know, just take him out like the last outing.
Well, you've been to Big Bear. I mean, the volume of punches from you as a heavyweight was special. That is one of the strengths, isn't it?
Yeah, that Abel's conditioning regime up in Big Bear, as I call it. You know, every day's an easy day.
And with Gennady Golovkin there, he'd be proud of you tonight, wouldn't he, for that work rate?
Oh yeah, you know, I've a lot of respect, and you know, I look up to Triple G Golovkin. He's a good guy, and you know, I'm looking forward to him coming back into camp.
Well, you're now in line for a WBO eliminator. This was important in terms of that sort of incentive, wasn't it?
Sorry, say that again.
The WBO eliminator. WBA eliminator now.
Yes, yeah, big things to come. You know, the next one for you know, a WBA regular. So you know, I'm just gonna get back to the gym, like have a couple of weeks off, and I'll be back in the Summit gym. It'll probably still be snowing there, so have to run in the snow, but it's all good, and it gets the results.
And it's just 9 professional fights, but it's been fantastic so far. How close do you feel to the top 3, as it were? Fury, Joshua, Wilder.
Well, you know, I've sparred all of them bar Wilder, so I think I'm, you know, I hold my own in sparring, and you know, I think I'm close to that level.
The juggernaut is coming.
The juggernaut is here.
Well done, Joe.
Yeah, thanks.
They gotta get their shit together. He is now going to be fighting Oquendo. Oquendo, please. That WBA world title has been cursed. I don't have time to talk about it. It's been cursed. That world title has been cursed. It should not be around, and because of that WBA heavyweight world title, that's the excuse the WBA keeps for keeping all those other world titles around. You know? We're going to give you a brief replay. Even though Showtime is going to be pissed off, we can do this legally. Man, beware, going to get hurt. One. You know, Howard Foster also does have a reputation for, like, being... Oh, Beware's getting fucked up. Anyway, so Manuel Chara failed the drug test, so therefore Oquendo, who, by the way, when was the last time you fought Frez? Look at this shit. He's been the WBA mandatory, and he hasn't fought. And by the time he gets into the ring, it'll be 5 years. This guy right here, he's the WBA mandatory, and he hasn't fought. And by the time he gets into the ring, it'll be 5 years. He hasn't fought since he fought Ruslan Chagiev, who, by the way, retired 2 years ago. By the way. Oh, wait, Showtime has Joe Joyce.
I managed to land a lot of shots, and, you know, he tried to throw some big shots at me as well, that I either took on the gloves or, you know, he's a strong guy and very tough. Like, I was hitting him with, you know, everything, including the kitchen sink, maybe the bath too, but he was still standing. Actually, I managed to get him down once, so, you know, that was good. And you know, listened to Abel in the corner, and you know, did what he told me, and yeah, and I think it went well.
It seems as though you were able to accomplish a lot of the things that you had set out. You wanted some rounds and you got them, but you also seem to be hitting him quite frequently with that straight right hand, and the jab was very effective this evening. Yeah,
my jab was really effective. Every time, bam, down the middle. He, you know, didn't have an answer for it, so yeah, you know, it worked.
Al Bernstein said that he's so impressed with how composed you are.
Yeah.
Particularly only having 8 professional fights. Where do you get that composure, and how have you maintained it while you're fighting?
Well, I'm a seasoned vet. You know, I've been on the GB team, and you know, picked up a lot of stuff along the way. You know, I'd like to thank all the coaches. You know, I started in Ellsfield, then moved to the GB team. I had a bit of time in Cuba as well, and you know, picked up some stuff from Salas, and now I'm you know, continuing my learning with Abel Sanchez. And you know, it's like, how do you bake a cake? You have different ingredients, and I've learned from all my teachers, and that's the finished product what I am today.
And where is that cake as it's baking? Abel says this is a fight-to-fight progression. Where do you think you are in that progression in terms of possibly at some point pursuing one of these 3 champions? No, well, 2 champions, and then of course Tyson Fury, the lineal champion.
I think a couple more fights. I mean, this fight was a learning fight. He wasn't going anywhere. You know, he's a seasoned champion, and you know, 29 fights. So, you know, I need to have like a couple more of those, and then I'll be ready.
All right, good to be back home, huh?
Yeah, good to be back home, and you know, thanks for all the support. Whoever came down to the O2 or watching back at home on ITV, box office, or in
Showtime.
Yeah, over the across the pond in Showtime.
Joe, congratulations. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, let's go back upstairs to Brian Custer.
All right, let's mute that right there because I know they got the main event coming up. Bermane Stiverne has now been knocked out. Boom. 3 of his last 4 fights, 2 by Deontay Wilder. And it's crazy that this is only since November of 2015. Only 2 fights since then. Only 2 fights in, 3 years? Just a little over 3 years. Thank you to Don King for getting him, you know, oh my God, this was literally for, this is a WBA eliminator. He didn't bring it up, Jim Gray. but he's supposed to be fighting Fresno Oquendo to be the WBA world champion. Crazy world we live in, but I got to get to the main event, and I'm so tired. I can't wait to take a nap after this because tonight we're going to be covering the Anthony Durrell card, 10 p.m. Eastern over on PBC on Fox. I'm going to watch the Fox Sports 2 card, in the background while I'm napping or something, or have it on in the background. Please subscribe. Links to my social media right down below in the description box.